Alright, today we're going to show you how to mount the Assassin M109 hybrid tail on this M109. First thing you're going to do is remove everything off the back of the bike. The factory strut rails, the factory cowling in the back. Just take all that off. Your side panels should be stripped down looking like this. Your fender cage is going to be kind of dangling. So the first order of business, we're going to go over a couple things. These here are our plate mounts. These are going to re-support that rear fender. You're going to have two of them. We're also going to have a support cage for the bags and fender in the back. And all your hardware, you're pretty much going to use your factory hardware that came off the bike to then reattach it onto here. So first thing we're going to do is take these two support brackets and we're going to bolt these up. Alright, our support rails are mounted up. So we use the factory bolts in that location and that location, and that is going to give your rear fender there the support that it needs to bolt the rest on. So the next thing we're going to do is bolt this mount cage up here. We are going to use these two bolts, bolt holes right here where your passenger peg goes, and we're also going to use one of these on each side to support this. And you can use the same bolts that come out of there as well. They are M8s. These are M6s, and we're going to go ahead and bolt that cage up to the bike. The rail is now supported using the 6 bolts talked about. It usually sits pretty much level around the bike. That's how that's going to line up. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to mount our fender that is right here to the back of the bike. This is going to attach using the 4 holes up top like the stock one. So we're going to go ahead and bolt that sucker up. Our fender is now bolted on. You will see 2 studs, 2 bolts coming out the bottom of your fender. These are going to act like a puzzle piece and clip into your saddlebag. It's going to keep that bag and fender aligned in the back without the need of actually putting a bolt through it. So you're going to have a hole in the back of your bag. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to set our bag on our bag rails. You will see on the bottom of your bag there's going to be a clip that looks like this. That is going to clamp right over that rail that this bag sits on and stop it from moving side to side. You're also going to have 2 holes in the bag which the bolts will go through. Those bolts are going to go into clips like so to bolt this bag onto the bike. There's also going to be a hole that pin's going to slide into to keep it aligned. So I'm going to go ahead and put that bag on the bike. This is the first bag bolted on, left side. I've got 1 bolt in there. I didn't put both in, but you can see how that should line up. That bolt is inside of that bag. You can see that down here in the crack a little bit. So your gap will be adjustable by moving the piece that's on the bottom of this bag, and that rail will set it this way or that way. And you could also use a jam nut on there if you want to set a different gap other than what it's going to come with when it bolts up. So we bolt that thing up tight, and we're going to get somewhere around 1/4 inch running down that bag. So I'm going to go ahead and bolt the other bag on so we can see that together, and then we'll move on to the side panels. Alright, we now have both bags mounted up. Gaps stay pretty much even from bag to bag. The slope of that bag and fender should line up pretty well. The next thing we're going to do is bolt our side panels on, which are going to use 2 bolts. On your factory bike, this one up here is going to be a push pin. You could use a push pin, or you could take that out and put a M6 in it. The bottom one's going to go down here, go through that cover. So we're going to go ahead and bolt these up. We can see how they look. Here we can see the side panel bolted up to the bike. That body line should come up to that bag pretty well using those 2 bolts. We'll walk around to the other side here. You can see that one fit the same. Just like so. And these here, you can shave them back if you don't want them touching your saddlebag. You can come in and shave these back. They are a little bit long. They do fit fairly tight to the bag. Once they're on there and it's all painted, you're going to want to put a little gasket if it's going to be that tight so that it doesn't rub itself away. Alright, here you can see the entire back end. Lids are mocked up on there as well, using the back seat factory front seat. This is the end result, what you got on the Assassin Hybrid. We usually take the key lock and route that into one of the saddlebags. Just a little pull cable. And that about concludes our M109 Assassin Hybrid install.